the phone with his hand, turn his head away from the rest of the table, and mutter, "Excuse me, folks, but this isn't something everybody here needs to be in on." A gentleman knows that it is appropriate for him to use his cell phone if he is alone, if he is certain that his conversation will not disturb or annoy others, if he is a doctor receiving a call from his answering service or from his office, if he is a father expecting a report from his children or from their babysitter, if he is at a raucous event such as a football game where his shouting will only add to the general uproar, if it is truly necessary for him to bring another person into the conversation at a business meeting at that very moment, if he truly believes there is a chance that an emergency is in the offing. A gentleman does not use his cell phone when he is behind the wheel of a vehicle of any type, in the midst of a church service or during a theater performance, a movie, or at a concert, at a table in a restaurant of any type, be it fast food or first class, in the waiting room or in the examining room at a doctor's office, when standing in line at the grocery store, the post office, a deli, or any other place where customers may find themselves trapped as unwilling witnesses to his conversation, in an elevator, unless he is alone or in the company of only friends or co-workers, in the workout room at his gym, on the quiet car of a train, in the cabin of an airplane unless some actual dire emergency demands it, in any place where signage or a public announcement notifies him that the use of cell phones is not permitted. A gentleman who happens to be a doctor checks his pager with an usher or changes it to the silent setting. However, if he is a real estate agent out for an evening at the theater, he turns off his pager and his cell phone entirely. A real estate closing is not a life-threatening emergency. A gentleman does not switch on his cell phone and launch into a conversation the moment his plane has landed simply because a flight attendant has told him it is safe to do so. If a flight attendant tells a gentleman to turn off his cell phone, his MP3 player, his laptop, or any other electronic device, he does so immediately. He does not behave childishly, attempting to stay on the phone until he has been singled out for having ignored the safety instructions. Although a gentleman may be enjoying music by means of his personal sound system and with his earbuds plugged in, he still keeps the volume turned to a reasonable level, knowing that an earth-shattering sound level may well be shattering the nerves of the persons seated near him. A gentleman does not assume that, because his wireless headset is inconspicuous, his conversations are inconspicuous as well. Whenever a gentleman uses his cell phone or his headset on a crowded sidewalk or in the aisle of a grocery store, he still keeps track of where he is going. No matter how important or intriguing his conversation may be, it still does not justify his ramming into another shopper's grocery cart. A gentleman does not use his camera phone in ways that intrude upon the privacy of others. A gentleman understands that if the taking of photographs is prohibited at any concert or other performance or in an art gallery, that prohibition also includes camera phone pictures. A gentleman does not attempt to walk and send a text message at the same time. A gentleman does not send text messages or check for text messages sent to him during a movie or a live performance of any kind, much less during a worship service. He knows that the glow from his handheld device, no matter how discreetly he attempts to conceal it, will almost inevitably distract others. A gentleman understands that, should he elect to send or receive text messages during a performance or a worship service, the people around him may assume that he has little interest in the activities at hand. In more than a few cases, unfortunately, their assumption will be right. A gentleman understands that for good